What's up, everybody? Lovely people of the internet. Thanks for tuning in to this amazing occasion. I'm here with Ravante, aka Ghost. What's going on, boss?
Peace, King. How you doing?
Doing excellent, man. My name is Nova, and we're going to talk about his book. We're going to talk about all things about his book, about how he starts the book, the theme of the book, how he gets his creativity, or how he starts and getting his creative moments. We're going to talk about everything. So,
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, man.
That's what's
Great.
up.
Blessed.
You doing good in quarantine?
No.
Okay, that's another story. Alright. So we're here to talk about his book that's coming out. It's called Ghost Stories. And man, let's just dive right into it. What got you into writing, and more specifically into writing poetry?
When I was younger, I say probably 8 or 9, I was at my Uncle Joe's house, and I was using the bathroom, and there was this poem that he had like right over the toilet. Like I never noticed it until this specific day, and I remember reading it, and I was like, "This is terrible." To be honest, and I was like, "Why would somebody buy this crap?"
Oh my gosh.
And this was when I was younger, so I was like, man, I can do better. But like I never knew at the time what poetry and all that stuff was, so like I just let it sit until I got to high school.
Gotcha.
And then when I got to high school, that's when I really started writing. But what really got me started in the process of transitioning, because when we were younger, we used to write raps.
I remember that. That's where everybody starts, writing raps.
So that's what I was doing. I was
Yeah.
like writing rhymes, because remember when you stayed in Hawaii, I used to call myself Heat.
Yeah.
From that video game.
Yeah, so long ago. Oh my gosh, I remember that. Writing songs.
So I went from that, and I remember I had a conversation with China, and I was like, yo, I like writing this and this and this, but I didn't like the rhyme scheme of it. Like I didn't like, because if I'm gonna rhyme it, I might as well rap.
Understood.
But since I'm like an introvert and I don't like being on stages and stuff like that, I was like, I'd rather do poetry. So I wanted to find a way to express myself, but not in that format. In English class, our teacher, she was like, these are different ways to write poetry.
Got it.
And that's how I figured out the freestyle part. Like I can
Okay.
tell a story and freestyle it, and it'll still be poetry.
Nice. Okay. I see. Yeah, I remember those days writing in the books. If we found those books, man, we just need to burn them. The early works.
Interesting story.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So let me tell you this. The girl that really helped me craft my poetry, I never met her before in my life.
Wow.
So
Explain. Yeah, what does that mean?
so Perrin.
Perrin is a friend of ours that we went to high school with when we both used to live in Virginia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super cool dude. Super cool.
Shout
dude.
out to Perrin.
Yes.
Giving haircuts and playing drum set.
Yeah,
Killing
it's always nice. But he introduced me to this girl, Brandy. And like she was super cool. And then she was like, "Well, I got a sister. Would you like to talk to her?" So I was like, "Yeah." So she gave me her sister's number, and me and her sister ended up chopping it up. And from then we like started creating a friendship. And it was all over the phone. And I even like talked to her parents and stuff on the phone. Like we had gained a real bond and stuff like that. Even with her parents, I would call at 11, 12, and her mom would pick up. And I was like, "Yo, go wake Brittany up."
Oh wow.
So
That's different.
So, I remember every day when I came home from school, like the last person I would talk to was her. And before we got off the phone and I went to sleep, she would make me tell her a story. But I would have to make it up. So that's why that really started my whole creative process.
Yeah.
Was creating these stories to tell her,
Mhm.
and I incorporated that in my writing.
Oh, that's cool. She was really stretching your imagination, and you were just having to just like
Man, cause
get
there
stuff
was,
out of thin air, right?
yeah, because there was some days I was struggling, and
I
she was like,
believe it.
and she was like, nah, you need to tell me something, because this is gonna help you. Because I did, and I owe everything, you know, to her. I don't think I'll be the writer I am today if she didn't push me that
Oh,
way.
that's right. Shout out to, what's her name again?
Brittany.
Brittany. Shouts
Brittany
out
Brooks.
to Brittany Brooks. What are some of the things that you've learned or you've searched or researched to like help you get better over the years in your
I started
writing?
really getting into it. I started watching, you know, videos on YouTube of people reciting poems, or
Mhm.
like I started reading, you know, different things just to get a better idea of what type of style and stuff I wanted to do. But nothing still caught my attention.
Mhm.
So I was really just writing just to write. I still didn't have like a specific style until one day I was chilling and I was talking to a female friend, and I wrote something for her. And the way that I wrote it, it was so detailed and like creative.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, this clicked. So then when I sent it to her and she read it, she was like, how did you think of this? And I was like, I don't know. Like, it just came to me. So ever since then, that's how I stayed with the style that I have.
So basically, real life relationships, real life encounters, things that you go through, that's kind of what helps you dig deep to explore in your writing or to, you know,
Yeah.
learn new things.
Yeah, because you know, when I sit to write, I'm really writing off of emotion. So I need to feel it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Understood.
that's why, like, most of the time when I start stuff, I always say I'm a storyteller, not a poet,
Mm-hmm.
because I need to get that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm writing, I write in first person, so it's like I'm talking to you. So when you're reading it on the paper, you can feel what you're reading.
Yeah.
Not like other poets when you're just reading words and, you know, it might hit you or it might not.
Got it.
Not saying that all my stories are going to hit you, because, you know, all of them tell a different story. But if you really pay attention and look at the format, it's like I'm talking to you, rather than, you know, you sitting here trying to
Decode
different stuff. I'm
Exactly.
straight to the point.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel that. Oh, that's good. That's good. Real life. So let's talk a little bit about the book. So I guess how long did it take you to write the book?
2 years or a year. I mean, I write frequently, but when I actually decided that I wanted to put it,
Mm-hmm.
like to write a book, the process was like a year and a half to 2 years.
Got you.
Because it's like I wanted things to be perfect, but then I realized every poem is not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
And every poem is not going to
No
be
perfect moment and stuff.
be
like that.
for somebody.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get the ones I like the most,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to put it into the book. And,
Okay.
you know, whoever likes it, you know. Everyone's not, every poem is not going to be for everybody, but, you know, if you read, you know, one or two that really grabs you, that's all that matters to me.
Got you. So, choosing the poems to put in the book, as you said, it was just the favorite ones that you had, or was there a specific theme that you wanted to keep in the book?
No, because all the poems come from a feeling.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it wasn't like a specific thing, like, oh, these had to be in here, or, you know, these wouldn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
I had 100 poems
Mm-hmm.
for the book,
Yeah.
but then when Kobe passed away, rest in peace to him,
Yeah, for sure.
I took it down to 81.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I just felt was appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course I didn't know him or anything like that, but it felt special. It felt special. So
Yeah, definitely. I understand that.
I wanted to take it down to 81. I actually, when I set that goal for 100, I was probably at like 70, 78, 79 or whatever, and I had got like a huge mental block.
Mm-hmm.
And then one night something came over me. I probably hit like 20 in one night.
It was the muses. They came and you just.
It was something.
They were just coming. Okay, I feel
Probably
you.
the edibles.
Hope you didn't hear that. But anywho.
You gotta edit
right,
that out. Sorry, First Lady.
Sorry, Mom. No, I'm just playing. So with the 81 poems
81.
that you have in there, is there a central like or a concept, a theme or concept, or what is the concept of the book?
So the beginning of the book is all freestyle stuff. Like it's just, it doesn't have no like specific meaning. I just wanted some free ones in there, some playful ones in there, something that they tell you something,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not too serious.
Okay.
But when it gets like to the middle and the end, that's when I start getting more into the stories
To the
and
everything.
yeah, more personal stuff.
Got it. We'll take it back a little bit. I want to know your creative process. One specifically for this book, and then in general, what's your like creative process? How do you start? How do you finish? Like, what's that process for you? What's that like?
Well, as far as the book concept, like my start and finish was pretty simple. Like I just wanted to get a bunch of poems and then knock them down to like the ones that I really like. I'm real simple, so I do things in a way where it feels comfortable for me. So it's not like I'm pressuring myself.
Got it.
Or putting too much on me, because then I won't finish it. I'll just push it aside and be like, I'm not even gonna touch it until I feel like touching it again.
Right.
So like I just try to make everything simple. But as far as writing an actual poem, the process is complicated and simple at the same time. If I'm just writing just to write, it'll be about something that happens in everyday life or something that I might see. I'm an observer, so I pay close attention to things.
What you mean? Yeah.
So like I really don't talk a lot. You know this. Like, I look at the room. I pay attention to things people really don't pay attention to. And so I use that, or like if I'm writing for a specific person, I ask them stuff about them.
Okay.
So
getting information from them. Yeah.
Yeah. So say like I call this my Drake formula. So Drake got hot off of making girl records and this and that. So a lot of my poems, they're tailored to females, female readers, because if females read it, they like it, they'll start telling their dudes, and it goes so on and so forth. But
Exactly, yeah.
I got stuff for everybody in the book. It's not just tailored for females. But I'll ask them, I'm like, well, what do you like? And if half the time when I ask them what do they like, I don't know. So I'm like, you don't know about yourself, so
like that. Like that common meme on the internet. It's like, pick what you want to eat, and they're like, no, I don't want to eat that. No, I want that. No,
yeah,
that's
like,
funny.
Come on, now.
Don't know what you want.
You should know yourself by now.
That's funny.
So, yeah, so that's what I do, and then like if they say like I don't know, then I start asking them, well, do you like the beach? Do you like the trees? Do you like the ocean? Do you like sunset or flowers and this and that? A lot of the stuff that I wrote has to do with flowers, or some beaches, some ocean. So what I'll do is, especially like a couple ones that involve flowers, I would I would ask them what specific flower do they like.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
when I ask them that, then I'll go to Google and I'll read, what does this flower mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then once I get an idea of what that flower means, then I start looking, of who they are.
Okay, and matching it up.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
So when I get all that information, then I write.
Very involved process. That's a cool process, though.
I mean, it's good and bad at the same time because it's like, because I write with so much emotion,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like I'm getting connected to that person in some way, even though they might not, get that connection back.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like when they read it, I want them to be satisfied with what they read.
Exactly.
So I try to get as much emotion out of it as I can and put it on that paper.
Yeah. Okay, I would call it personal poetry, basically. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like, tailored for people, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Not too many people like tailor make poetry pieces for other people, in that sense. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's became my calling card.
Yeah.
My specialty.
Do you have any heroes in the realm of poetry, or people that you look up to, or maybe they may not even be in poetry, but there's different people that you look up to that like inspire you to write?
None. And the reason why is because the way my mind works, if I hear or read something too much, my writing style will become more like theirs than stay like mine.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to stay away from it as much as I can. I started listening to a couple people,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll like their stuff so much, and then when I sit down to write, I would hear their voice except for mine.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what, scrap this. I'm just gonna do me. I'm not gonna. I'll read a couple here and there, but they'll have to be like from different people.
Okay.
But I can't follow just one person because my writing style will be dictated by them, not by me.
What do you hope to accomplish by writing this book and putting this book out?
I want to show people that there's a different style of writing out there. Poets or like poetry is not mainstream. It's not high on everybody's list. People do like it, but the world is really created for music more than anything. So my thing is, even if I sell like one or two books, these people might talk to more people and so on and so forth. So it might grow.
Yeah.
Right now, this is just like a potential starter for something that I have later on in the like big scope of things. I want people to get in touch with poetry more because at the same time you're writing, you can tell a story, and within you telling that story, you can help yourself heal from like stuff that you're going through.
So true.
Because especially depending on what kind of writing you're doing, because you have to do some type of research or find some information, on certain things that you write, so you can be correct in the stuff that you're writing, so the readers can feel it. So at the same time, when you're doing some research, you can find out what you have problems with and like what you can heal from. So that's what I want, because it seems like now everybody's dealing with something.
Yeah, that's true.
Depression, anxiety, and stuff like that. So being able to sit down and even if it's writing your stuff on a piece of paper, like the thing with a lot of people that I've noticed, especially when I tell them I write poetry, is like the first thing that they say is, I can never do that. Like, it's too hard. And I said, no, poetry is actually easy. You're just thinking of it as this big thing. But if you actually break it down, poetry is just telling a story.
Yeah.
I was like, it doesn't have to be real difficult. It can be very simple. Like, you can just write down I'm scared. That's a poem.
True.
Like, that's two words.
It's simple.
It's
Yeah.
simple. So even if you write a letter to yourself, that can be called a poem, because you're telling a story of how you're feeling. It's like a journal at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's something that everybody can do. Not everybody can afford like therapy and stuff like that, but I see this as a start for people realizing what they need to get help in.
Yeah.
And then wanting to go get that help.
That's good, man. That's good. Poetry with a purpose, for real. That's definitely what this is.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, I'm excited for you, dog.
Thank you, sir.
It's coming out soon. Thanks for sitting with me.
I mean, I'm always sitting.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, always observing, as you said.
Yeah, man.
Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in to my guy Ghost.
Thank you.
The book comes out. When does the book come out?
The book is dropping August 2nd. I am taking pre-orders now. So what I'm doing is I bought a certain amount of copies. So if you pre-order, you're guaranteed one of those 100 in the first batch. So if I oversell that, then I'm gonna buy a second batch and I'm gonna disperse those. One thing that I'm doing is, if you purchase a book either online or by me, I'm gonna write a letter specifically to you. So if you buy it online, DM me, or shoot me a text if you have my number. But just let me know that you bought it, and I'm gonna gift you with a personal letter thanking you guys for your support, because at the end of the day, I wrote for you guys.
Oof, that's good. That's good. Support him, support black creators, support creators all over the world, but specifically him right now.
Yes.
Like I said, thank y'all for tuning in. Like, subscribe on his channel, share it, let everybody know that the book is coming out. All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.